Hello. Okay. It should be recording. So, I got a new app to use for video recording, so that way there's no watermark and I can read fanfic for as long as I need to take instead of having a time limit, because this one is going to be long. This is a Hawks X-Reader, and it is called Dinner Date. Yeah, it's pretty long. So, I have to at least get this done in the next 30 minutes because I still have classes. So, yeah. I hope you all enjoy, and also, oh my god, you people, that's a lot of subscribers. Okay, I'm gonna put on music because I forgot to do that. Oh my god, that's not Spotify. Okay, hopefully you can hear me and the music. I'm gonna turn it down one more. 4 trillion people in the world, Hawks grinned, leaning on the desk to whisper close to listener's ear. And you're the lucky one I've got my eye on. How does that make you feel? About as annoyed as his paperwork makes me, listener sighed, one hand massaging her forehead while the other scribbled away. Her brow scrunched, a shallow migraine setting in. Hawks, it's 2 a.m. You're right, it is, Hawks nodded, messy blonde hair wafting. Which means it's my job to annoy you until you give up and come home. He slithered closer, smirk on his lips as he lowered his voice to dangerously gravely tone. So come on, babe, let's head in for the night. First of all, I'm not your babe, listener sighed and sat down, looking over to Hawks with her signature straight face. He pouted, but was otherwise unmoved. Secondly, just because we share an apartment at the moment does not mean it's my home. She leaned in, invading his bubble with her own coy expression. However light and hidden it was under her mask of indifference. So unless you want to finish your own paperwork, baby bird, lay off my case. Baby bird, huh? Hawks picked out her teasing name for him, a new one among many others she'd called him. She leaned back, but he stayed put, reveling in her company. I think I like that one. You should keep calling me that. Not a wild chance in hell, Icarus, she scoffed, but Hawks knew it was laughter in disguise. You'll come around, babe, sometime or another, he chuckled and stood from the backwards chair he placed beside her. Listener sighed in relief as he disappeared from her line of sight. Listener wasn't a paper pusher, nor was she an errand girl or an intern. She went to school to be a hero. She graduated top in her class. She put in enormous amounts of work to become as strong as she was today. And yet here she was finishing paperwork Hawks was either too stupid to understand or just didn't care about. Really, she knew it was the latter. As playful as he could be, Keiko was an incredibly intelligent man. I don't even hear it at this point. I don't know. So it aggravated her even more that a man smart enough to come up with 20 different pickup lines a day couldn't fucking do his own work. Stacks and stacks of unfinished paperwork marred her desk, like mines in a war zone. It was a battle she couldn't seem to end. This was the 3rd week in a row she'd spent all hours of her off-duty time committed to making a sizable dent. Some of the others in this agency questioned why she did it, why she dedicated so much time to the most undesirable part of the day. She could easily pass it to an intern, but honestly, listener knew better. What went into those reports was sensitive, top-secret shit from his underground work. Most of them require a special filing technique, a chain of handling of handling had to be recorded. Listener has seen firsthand how seemingly meaningless information could be twisted in the favor of the press or even villains. She knew better. So in order to protect the friend who'd been generous enough to allow her refugee in his apartment after hers had been destroyed, he'd suck it up and do his dirty work. This is a good song. Dang it. A paper mug being set on the desk before her made her snap from her concentration, a wave of confusion flooding her veins. Vanilla hazelnut twist with a shit ton of whatever the crap that has caffeine in it. Hawks grinned proudly, taking his seat to where with a bag of greasy-smelling McDonald's. He set that down too, digging it inside to pull out several boxes of 20-piece chicken nuggets. I didn't know what you liked, so I just asked for the best late-night paperwork drink, and I brought food. Is this why I keep finding McDonald's receipts marked as business expenses? Listener hummed as she took a sip of her drink. The scalding temperature, almost natural, going down her throat. Heat never was something to bother her, not with her quirk. Most likely, Hawks nodded as if it wasn't obvious. Listener couldn't suppress the small chuckle that escaped her lips. So does this mean you're helping me finish your work? Listener asked with false hope. She knew the answer. Absolutely not, Hawks chimed, leaning his backwards chair on the back two legs, using her desk like it was a cafe table. He opened his first little tub of dressing, looking away to smile at the sleep-deprived listener. I'm here to watch my beautiful Phoenix work her magic on all the legal crap I don't bother to understand. You aggravate. Listener paused to sip her much-needed coffee. Every single nerve of patience I have left. Thanks, I try. His playful ring sent her turning back to the sheets of paper, face scrunched. I'm scared that the music's too loud. You might hear popping noises from my neck. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. His playful wink sent her turning back to the sheets of paper, face scrunched in disdain. Hawks pulled a face. Oh, come on. I'm really not that bad, I swear. Define not that bad, Listener quipped, and Hawks took that moment to be the smooth piece of shit he knew he was. Well, the sooner you go on that dinner date with me, the sooner you get to find out. Of course, Listener sighed and nodded in understanding. She threw up her hands in a mini gesture of exasperation. Why would I expect a serious answer? I don't know why you would either, Hawk smiled at her glare, reaching into the bag to pull out another box of nuggets. He handed them to her. But fuck it, you want me to ask you seriously? I'll ask you seriously. Listener, he started, dipping a nugget into ranch. Would you be so kind as to go on a dinner date with me? No, but Hawks, Listener called out. Oh, this is a time skip. Okay. Hawks, Listener called out his hero name in annoyance, seeing as they were once again in public. I'll give you 3 seconds. This wasn't supposed to happen, he immediately blurted, hands up to defend himself from the quickly angry Listener. He watched the slight fear as her eyes began to turn a deep red, skin threaded to morph into her feathery surface known as her phoenix form. He motioned to her desk, paper scattered and soaked in what she could only assume was some sort of dark drink. I would hope not, she growled, a voice deep and dangerous. Her eyes tore away from her destroyed paperwork and to Hawk's slowly cowering face. Or the next report I'll be writing is your obituary. Right, yeah. I see. I was trying to be the super nice guy I am and bring you some morning coffee and breakfast. Hawk swallowed thickly and gestured to the mess behind him. But I fucked up. I'm gonna fix it, he blurted before a listener could utter another word. Her brow twitched, jaw clamped shut to keep from spitting every curse under the sun. Hawks knew he was treading on thin ice. I'll redo all the paperwork. I'll make that new intern girl do it, and in no time everything will be A-okay. Get out of my office, she grit, teeth grinding to keep shut. Hawks opened his mouth to protest, but listener had it. Kago. Hawks nearly flinched at the quiet use of his first name. He knew she must be livid if she was using in such a public place. He sighed dejectedly and stepped around her tense body, easing out the door. Guess I'm not getting that dinner date tonight. Something inside listener snapped, like an old rubber band pulled taut. Suddenly, everything built up inside was released. I'm sorry, I saw an ad. Sorry, I was like, what? Like an old rubber band pulled taut, suddenly everything built up inside was released. Fire and feathers burst from her form as she strove to contain her quirk, turning and slamming her office door so hard it shook the walls. Hawk's eyes widened in fear. Fear of the unknown. Unknown because the woman who was notorious for her straight face and emotional resilience had angry tears running down her face. He'd only caught a glimpse and for a second tried to rationalize. He was hallucinating. There was no way the woman known for looking death in the eyes and smirking was the same woman he just witnessed break down. No noises came from her office after that, or from the entire floor itself. A deathly silence took over, swallowing the Hero Agency whole. Okay. Hawks ruffled his wings and took a step back, quickly turning from her door and leaving. His hands stuffed themselves deep in his pockets as he silently left the agency, and with the movement brought murmurs. Slowly the sound came back to the building, but Kago had his mind set. He exited the building with haste and immediately took off once he was outside. Out to her window he flew, and sure enough, the pro-hero Hawks had made his partner, Stone Phoenix, break down. She was trying to compose herself, sniffling back sobs as she peeled through soaked reports. After jotting down what needed to be redone, she tossed them aside, the wet paper flopping into the trash, in at her side with a sickening splat. Hawks pulled away from her window. True to his thoughts, Listener was indeed broken down, worn and tired, frustrated with her partner's arrogance. She'd gotten so close to being done with his paperwork, so close to finally having a break, and the bastard bird ruined it all. She was excited to turn it all in this morning, remove a huge number of papers in bulk. Now she'd be lucky if a fourth of them were salvageable. And she thought angrily to herself, that bastard had the audacity to make a dinner date joke. Truthfully, Listener wanted to take him up on his offer, but she knew better. He was young, much younger than her, and filled to the brim with egotistical arrogance. It would be a long time until he reached her level of maturity. But honestly, she hoped he never did. The childish part of him was something she admired, surprisingly. Something she wished she'd been able to retain. Years of wear and tears had brought a weight heavy upon her shoulder, and made her unwillingly wise to the world she was living in. The stress of having to look out for herself and her partner was extra weight she didn't need, and to have her hope The stress of having to look out for herself and her partner was extra weight she didn't need, and to have her hope ripped away so violently was gratifying. She sat back frustrated as another wave of tears pricked her eyelids. Her teeth grit and her palms rubbed violently, desperately trying to pull herself together. She removed her hands and took a deep breath, regaining control over her emotions once more. Stupid bird, she mumbled to herself. Time skip! I'm sorry for being annoying. Okay. Listener joined the man with wings as red as blood. He leant over the back of the chair, chin on her shoulder as he pouted at her obsessive scribbling. I already said I was sorry. Can you please stop ignoring me? I'm not ignoring you, Kay, she sighed, eyes glued to the report she was filling out. I'm finishing your paperwork. Tomato, tomato, he stuck out his bottom lip, turning his gold eyes up to hers in hopes of weakening her resolve. Come on, babe. You've been at this shit all week. Take a break. I'm not your babe, she snapped rather harshly, but otherwise kept her composure. And get off my case unless you're gonna do it yourself. Alright, you got me. I'm not gonna do the paperwork, he sighed, rolling his eyes sarcastically. His chin wiggled on her shoulder, which with each word he spoke, but it hardly annoyed listener anymore. He wrapped his arms around her waist, struggling a bit with the chair in his way. But this crap ain't healthy, and you know it. You need some R&R, sweetheart. What I need is to catch up on all the work you destroyed last Tuesday, listener grumbled as she pried his hands reform around her. As she pried his hands reformed around her, setting them firmly on the armrest, where they were before, which is a lot, mind you. Hey now, he suddenly pulled away and whipped her wheelie chair around, palming the armrest and leaning his face close to hers. She sighed, uninterested, as she squinted accusingly with a smirk. Am I really gonna have to suspend you in order for you to get some rest? Suspend me all you want, Feather, she sighed, droopy eyes playful yet tired. You can't ban me from paperwork duty, and you know it. Just take a short break, Hawks reasoned, brows raised in a coaxing manner. A couple hours, you and I can go get some lunch. Then we can come back here, and you can go back to being grouchy. I'm not grouchy, she mumbled. I just want to get this done. You're grouchy, he affirmed, pulling a sarcastic smile. He stood and held out a hand, beckoning her to stand. Come on, babe, coffee on me. Kate, she gave him a playful pout. I'm not going on a date with you. Okay, but why not? He finally snapped, hands coming up in exasperation, his face contorted in painful confusion. All I'm asking for is a chance. Why are you so opposed? I'm not opposed, she managed to shoot back, shoulders raised with the uncomfortable confrontation. I just know better. Better than what? Better than to fuck with someone who's not only half my age. Oh my god, we're old. Who's not only half my age, but is also a massive fucking flirt. Her words struck the young man, who felt his insides broil with frustration. Listener pulled a snarl frustrated herself. I've had only fair share of meaningless relationships, and I'm done. My time with heartbreak. I'm not interested in the pointless games you play, Keiko, and I'm certainly not interested in losing my partner to some annoying emotions. So what if you're older than me? Hawks gave his head a shake, as if to thrash the idea. Who gives a flying fuck about any of that? I flirt with you because I'm interested in you. I've been asking you for a damn date for months now. Listener scoffed and looked away, but the winged man wasn't done yet. I'm not asking you to play games, listener. I'm asking you to give me a chance to be genuine. Hawks shook his head again, this time swiping at the air And to hell with losing me as a partner. If you really think something that is possible, then you need to put some more trust in me. Keg, she sighed, hand coming to her temple, she trying to ebb the growing migraine. So much stress on her mind was really beginning to affect her body. You write KFC as business expenses, as you expect me to trust you aren't playing some game. I also specifically requested extra PTO for you after long missions, he countered, crossing his arms defiantly. I bring you coffee when you're up late doing my dirty work. I bring you food when you forget to eat. Hell, I even let you stay with me while you're looking for a new place. He furrowed his wild brows and cocked his head, looking down at the sitting woman with question. I ain't saying I'm perfect, but Christ, give a man some slack, sweetheart. And I appreciate all of it, she retorted with a bit of anger. Truly, I do, but I cannot physically handle any more stress. I'm going to start fucking falling to pieces. If you would just go on a fucking date with me, Hawks gestured towards the door, as he meant right then. We could take some time to relax and de-stress. You stressed me out. She pressed her palms to her temples and let out a heavy breath. Eyes scrunched shut. You're so spontaneous and unpredictable that it whips me around like a rag doll. You switch between Hawks and Kago like you turn on a light. You're always doing things without thinking them through. Make childish decisions without really thinking about how they affect me. I can't keep up with it, Kate. I'm a phoenix, not a hawk. Dang. Listener, I'm not asking you to commit to anything right off the bat, he sighed, squatting down to catch her eyes. When he found they were closed, he lashed to her legs instead, pulling them to his chest as if he were hugging her torso. It'd be ideal if you just up and marry me right this fucking second. But we both know I tend to get ahead of myself with these things. All I'm asking for is a date, just a couple of hours for me to show you that I can be unironically romantic. I don't want to go on a dinner date, Kay. Listener peeked open her eyes, only to be met with sharp golds. A coffee date, then? He spurred, watching as her face contorted with dislike. A movie date? A work date? How about a pool date? Come on, babe, he whined, brows furrowed and bottom lip stuck out. Give me a hint or something. Can we just start with lunch? And that's the end. Okay, this one was a long one, so I'm glad I got it done in time. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm trying to do different types of fan fiction, so it's not just Bakugo, it's listeners, so that way everyone actually likes the content, hopefully. I don't know. We're just gonna see how this one goes. But, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this. I tried. I swear, if this recording app doesn't work, I'm gonna be so sad because I just wasted 24 minutes of my life doing this. But I hope you guys have a great day. And I will see you all. Well, y'all won't really see you. But I'll try to record a video. Actually, I don't know if I can record a video tomorrow. So I might do one later tonight. Because today's my younger brother's birthday and family's coming over and all that stuff. So, I hope you all have a great day, and I will try to record next time. Bye!